You're watching World News on TVP World. I'm Aaron Darman. Our top story this afternoon, Polish President Karol Nawrocki has voted down an amendment to a crucial law designed to help Ukrainian citizens in Poland. Instead, he says the 800-plus child benefit should be made conditional on employment in the country.
The amendment, which the president declined to sign, aimed to extend temporary protection for Ukrainians fleeing the war until March 4, 2026. It also clarified eligibility for the 800-plus benefit, a benefit providing parents equivalent of €180 per month for each child, so that it would cover Ukrainian children who completed secondary school before turning 18 and continue their education at a university or vocational training courses. During the legislative process, Law and Justice Party lawmakers proposed similar conditions, including linking the benefit to employment or running a business in Poland and tightening rules for obtaining Polish citizenship. Their proposals, however, were rejected.
Poles in their own country should be treated on an equal footing with our guests from Ukraine. That's why I vetoed the bill on assistance to Ukrainian citizens in its current form, while at the same time proposing my own draft law and encouraging the government and all political groups in the Polish parliament to work hard over the next 2 weeks on a new version of this bill.
And Warsaw says it won't be able to continue paying for Ukraine's Starlink subscription following President Nawrocki's veto. That's according to Poland's Digital Affairs Minister Krzysztof Gawkowski, who says Nawrocki blocked the bill despite knowing there were issues related to Starlink. Poland has been helping Ukraine maintain access to Starlink to ensure vital communication channels remain operational in frontline cities as Kyiv battles Russia's invasion. Gawkowski says the current Starlink subscription expires at the end of September and the government will look for other solutions to support Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy says officials from Ukraine and America will meet at the end of the week to hash out future talks between Kyiv and Moscow. Zelenskyy made the announcement at a press conference alongside the Norwegian Prime Minister in Kyiv on Monday.
Today, there will be a meeting with U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine, Keith Kellogg, to continue this topic, to work on preparations for the possibility of future meetings with the Russian side. At the end of the week, there will be a meeting between the Ukrainian team and the American team, which will include U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, U.S. Special Envoy for the Middle East Steve Witkoff, and U.S. President J.D. Vance, or some of them.
Russia's assault on Ukraine continues despite those efforts to broker a peace deal. 2 people were killed and 33 others wounded over the past 24 hours. The latest Russian attacks targeted regions across Ukraine. In Kharkiv, an 82-year-old woman lost her life and 3 others suffered injuries. Moscow strikes also hit the southeast of the country. Ukraine managed to shoot down 76 out of the 104 drones launched by Moscow overnight, according to the Ukrainian Air Force. A sweeping visit to Warsaw for Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. He's in the Polish capital today, meeting with his counterpart Donald Tusk and President Karol Nawrocki. Top of the agenda, defence and security. Diana Skyer reports from the presidential palace.
We're standing in front of the Polish presidential palace where Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, on his first visit to Warsaw as Prime Minister, has just finished his meeting with Polish President Karol Nawrocki. Early Monday morning, the Canadian Prime Minister met his Polish counterpart, Premier Donald Tusk. The leaders say they've agreed to cooperate more closely in areas such as defense, aviation, cybersecurity, and clean energy, elevating their relations to a strategic partnership.
Today, we accelerated the process of deepening strategic cooperation. Soon, we will elevate our relations to the level of a strategic partnership. Together with the Prime Minister, we expressed our intention to speed up this process even further. Polish-Canadian cooperation is not only bilateral. We also work together in all possible international forums. We are committed to maintaining the closest possible transatlantic ties. For us, cooperation between the U.S., Canada, and the EU, support for Ukraine, and a firm policy towards dictators and aggressors all continue to have the same profound meaning as when this cooperation was first established.
Canada and Poland come together. That's the history. If we go back decades, fighting side by side in Dieppe and at Normandy, Canada being the first country to ratify Poland's membership of NATO, standing together. Our troops stand together in Latvia at present. And as the Prime Minister alluded to a moment ago, Poland is absolutely essential to the defense of Ukraine.
Now, following his visit to Poland, Prime Minister Mark Carney will be heading to Germany, where he will be meeting with business leaders and a German delegation. And then on Wednesday, he will be wrapping up his trip in Latvia. For TVP World, I'm Diana Skaya in Warsaw.
The captain of the Eagle-S oil tanker and his 2 senior officers have appeared in the Helsinki District Court, charged with aggravated sabotage and interference with telecommunications. Prosecutors say the crew of the ship linked to the Russian Shadow Fleet dragged an anchor for nearly 90 kilometres across the seabed in the Gulf of Finland last year, cutting 5 undersea cables linking Finland and Estonia. Anastasia Yanchenko has more.
3 crew members of the Eagle-S tanker, 2 Georgians and 1 Indian nationals, are at the center of high-profile trial in Finland. Prosecutors accused them of aggravated criminal mischief and serious interference with communications, claiming their actions targeted critical infrastructure linked to the Finnish state. All the defendants deny the charges.
This was a normal maritime incident, and not deliberate, not sabotage and anything else. And I trust and, I believe that process will be fair.
The prosecution says the damage was deliberate, and the Eagle-S could have damaged even more cables across the Baltic Sea without the Finnish authorities' intervention.
We have a different kind of evidence, written evidence of the conditions of the ship, and then of course we will hear the defendants, and we have also heard expert witnesses during the investigation.
The prosecution is demanding a minimum of 2 years and 6 months of imprisonment for the 3 defendants. The maximum penalty for aggravated sabotage is 10 years. The hearings are scheduled to conclude in the mid of September. From Helsinki for TVP World, I'm Anastasia Yanchenko.
Political drama in Sweden after reports that a cleaner at Stockholm's Arlanda airport discovered a folder containing what appear to be secret government documents in an airport toilet. Authorities have confirmed the incident took place but are not providing further details. The folder was found after Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson's trip to Turkey in 2022 as Sweden drummed up support for its bid to join NATO. Officials say parts of the folder's contents were classified, but it's still unclear for how long the folder was missing, with the error sparking a storm of questions about security procedures within the Swedish administration. A large herd of wild boars has moved into densely populated areas in Hungary's capital, Budapest. As reported by a local daily, authorities in the capital are now responding by setting up several traps at locations across the city.
The wild boars entered the 12th district of Budapest, with a video posted online showing a large herd of the animals roaming through one of the capital's parks. Traces of their activity were still clearly visible the next day. Another video shows a herd marching across a city street. According to a local resident, the herd consisted of 20 animals, both adults and young, which are already unafraid of humans and crossing streets. The common presence of wild boars in Budapest was confirmed earlier by local district authorities in the Hungarian capital, who added that large metal cages have already been set up in the area.
And that's all for World News here on TVP World. Do stay with us because our business show, The Bottom Line, is next. I'm Aaron Darman. Goodbye for now.